Ethan Hale had always believed the universe was bigger than humans imagined. From a young age, he spent nights staring at the stars, wondering if something, was looking back. Now, at 29, he had the chance to find out. As a scientist specializing in neural link technology, Ethan worked on a device meant to connect human minds with alien consciousness. The world outside considered his work risky, even impossible, but to Ethan, it was an opportunity to touch the unknown. His lab was quiet that evening, dimly lit by soft white lights. Equipment hummed and blinked in neat rows, wires snaking across the floor like metallic vines. Ethan adjusted his headset and tapped a few commands on the holographic keyboard. The device in front of him, the neural interface, glowed with a pale blue light. Tonight. He was testing the system alone. Normally, tests required multiple operators, but Ethan was stubborn. He trusted himself, and he trusted his instincts. He took a deep breath, feeling the familiar mix of excitement and nervousness. The interface activated, sending a low hum through the room. His vision blurred for a moment, then cleared. At first, nothing seemed unusual. The neural link system worked as expected. His own thoughts reflected back at him. But then, something changed. A soft ripple passed through his mind, like a gentle wave brushing against a shore. It was not his thought. It was alien. Ethan froze, heart pounding. The sensation was faint, but distinct. He leaned back, trying to center himself. "Hello?" he whispered aloud. No response came, only the ripple, an echo of something intelligent, something alive. His pulse quickened. The neural link was supposed to connect with other minds, but this was different. No other human had ever connected through the system like this. Then, in his mind, a figure appeared. She was small, almost childlike, but glowing with a soft light that shifted colors like a pearl in sunlight. Her eyes, large, shimmering and full of curiosity, stared at him. Ethan stumbled backward, pressing his hand to his chest. Who are you?" he asked, barely able to form the words. The figure smiled, a gesture both comforting and strange, and then she spoke, not with words but with feelings and images. Images of stars, faraway planets, glowing cities, and strange, elegant creatures filled Ethan's mind. He understood her, not through sound, but through thought. "I am Lyra," she conveyed. "I come from far away. I am lost. I need help." Ethan blinked. His hands shook. His mind was flooded with sensations he could hardly process. He had always imagined first contact would be exciting, maybe even joyful. But nothing could have prepared him for this. An alien consciousness inside his own mind, alive, aware, and frightened. "Lost?" he whispered. "How do I even help someone I've never met?" "Yes," Lyra's presence replied softly. "My people. Danger. War. I fled. I came here." Ethan swallowed hard, feeling both fear and wonder. The images in his mind were like a storm. Stars and planets spun around him. Strange ships raced through space. And in the middle of it all, Lyra, glowing and small, looked at him with a pleading expression. He realized something alarming. She couldn't leave. The neural link was supposed to be temporary, but her presence was stuck, like a message trapped in a bottle. No matter what he tried, the alien girl remained inside his thoughts. "Stay calm," Ethan whispered, though it felt like he was speaking to both her and himself. "We'll figure this out." She seemed to sense his reassurance. The storm of images slowed, colors softened. Her glow dimmed slightly, settling into a gentle blue. "Thank you," she said. I don't know how long I can stay." Ethan swallowed again, his mind racing. The implications were enormous. A living, thinking alien consciousness was trapped inside his mind. If the world discovered it, humanity would either celebrate or fear them. Probably fear. But even beyond that, there were practical concerns. How could he keep both himself and Lyra safe? And could he even communicate with her fully without losing himself? He paced the lab, hands running through his hair. The interface hummed steadily, as if waiting for his next move. He tried a simple test, projecting thoughts about his daily life, memories of his childhood, his small apartment, the quiet park near his home. Lyra responded instantly, laughing softly in his mind, a sound like wind chimes through a crystal cave. "Your world. It is strange and small," she conveyed, her presence tinged with wonder. "And beautiful." Ethan felt a warmth in his chest. Despite the chaos, despite the fear, he realized something extraordinary. This was a friendship in the making, though one unlike anything humanity had ever known. He nodded, though she couldn't see him physically. "I am Ethan," he said aloud. "And you are stuck here, at least for now. We'll figure this out together." Lyra's glow brightened for a moment, and then she formed shapes in the air of his mind. Small, delicate symbols he didn't recognize, but somehow understood. They were greetings, expressions of hope. She was trying, in her own way, to connect. Hours passed, though Ethan had no sense of time. He learned quickly how to focus his thoughts without letting them be overtaken by hers. And Lyra learned to navigate his memories, discovering small joys like the feel of rain on a window, the sound of his favorite song, the sight of a city skyline at dusk. As the night wore on, Ethan realized that she was more than a stranded alien. Lyra was intelligent, curious, and playful. She marveled at simple human things. The sound of typing, the smell of coffee, the way light refracted through glass. She asked questions, often without words, but he understood perfectly. She was learning. And in return, he was learning from her about the stars, distant planets, and the strange ways life could exist in the universe. But the joy was tempered by fear. If her people, or the enemy that chased her, found her energy signal, Earth could become a target. And the longer she stayed inside his mind, the more risk there was for both of them. A bond like theirs was powerful, but fragile. Too much exposure could overwhelm his consciousness, or worse, make her vanish completely. Ethan looked at the lab, the blinking consoles, the softly humming machines. He felt a surge of determination. He had spent his life studying the universe, trying to reach out, to explore, to understand. Now, the universe had reached back, unexpectedly, urgently, and he would not let this chance pass. "Don't worry, Lyra," he said firmly, though his voice trembled. "We'll find a way. I promise." For a moment, her glow pulsed like a heartbeat. He imagined that she was smiling. Then, as a wave of exhaustion hit him, he realized just how long he had been awake. His body ached, but his mind buzzed with excitement and fear. The first night of contact was over, but the story had only just begun. In the quiet of the lab, as the city outside slept under a sky full of stars, a human and an alien began to form a connection that defied distance, species, and imagination. Inside his mind, Lyra floated in a soft, glowing aura, her curiosity and fear mirrored in Ethan's own eyes. And though neither fully understood the dangers ahead, both knew one thing clearly: they were not alone anymore. Tomorrow would bring challenges, secrets, and the first real test of their bond. But for tonight, they simply existed together, two minds from different worlds, linked in wonder, fear, and hope. And somewhere in the far reaches of the galaxy, Lyra's enemies were already closing in, unaware that she had found sanctuary inside a human mind, and that the human was ready to fight, think, and create alongside her in ways no one had ever imagined. The morning sun filtered through the tall windows of Ethan's lab, but he hardly noticed. His mind was still buzzing from the events of the previous night. Lyra, the alien girl trapped in his consciousness, had already begun to feel like more than a foreign presence. She was a companion, an enigma, and a responsibility all at once. Ethan rubbed his eyes and leaned back in his chair, feeling the lingering hum of the neural link system. He could sense Lyra moving within his thoughts, exploring the corridors of his mind with quiet curiosity. She was fascinated by the way humans thought, how they experienced the world through senses and emotions. At the same time, she was cautious, aware of the delicate balance that kept her anchored to him. "Good morning," she conveyed without words, projecting warmth and gentle amusement. "Good morning," Ethan whispered aloud, almost forgetting that she could sense his voice as thought. "Did you sleep?" "I do not sleep as you do," she replied, her presence flickering with a soft blue light. "But I rested. I observed your mind. It is interesting." Ethan smiled despite his exhaustion. Interesting is one word for it. His memories, emotions, and thoughts were all laid bare to her, and she treated them not as curiosities to be stolen, but as treasures to be explored with care. He knew he had to set boundaries. If Lyra was to survive inside his mind, and if he was to remain sane, there had to be rules. He closed his eyes and visualized a small room in his mind, a space where she could exist safely without overwhelming him. She seemed to understand immediately, and the flickering blue light settled into a calm glow within the imagined space. "This is nice," she said. "I can think here. I can be." "Exactly," Ethan replied. "You need to be comfortable, and I need space too." For hours they experimented with this new arrangement. Lyra learned to navigate Ethan's thoughts without interference, and he discovered ways to communicate with her more clearly. She could project images, feelings, and even small illusions that mimicked the sensations of the human world. One moment, he felt a soft breeze on his skin. The next, the taste of a strange, sweet fruit he had never eaten, all conjured by her mind. Ethan laughed aloud, marveling at the experience. "You are incredible," he said. "I can't believe this is happening." "You think I am incredible?" Lyra replied with amusement. "You are clever. Your mind is complex, but kind. I like this place. I like you." Her words, though not spoken aloud, carried an emotional weight that made Ethan's chest tighten. He had always longed to understand the universe, but this connection was far deeper than he had imagined. It was personal, intimate, and thrilling. Days passed, and their bond grew. Lyra learned about simple human joys, the smell of coffee brewing, the sound of rain tapping on windows, the feeling of soft fabric against skin. She laughed at Ethan's clumsiness and marveled at his persistence. In return, Ethan learned about her world, cities that floated on oceans of light, forests that hummed with energy, skies painted in colors that humans could barely perceive. They explored together, creating shared mental landscapes where reality and imagination merged. Ethan would imagine a quiet park, and Lyra would fill it with strange, glowing plants and alien animals. They wandered these mental worlds for hours, discovering how different yet beautiful life could be. "Your mind is creative," Lyra said one evening, her glow soft and steady. "I have never seen anything like this." "And I have never met anyone like you," Ethan replied, feeling a warmth he couldn't explain. But even as their friendship blossomed, a shadow of concern lingered. The longer Lyra stayed in his mind, the more strain it caused. Sometimes, he felt headaches that pulsed like distant stars exploding. Other times, his thoughts became blurred, memories overlapping with hers in confusing ways. He knew he had to find a solution before it became dangerous. One morning, while Ethan focused on running a simulation, Lyra's presence shifted. It was subtle at first, a quiver of unease in her glow. "Ethan, she projected gently. There is something outside, something watching. Ethan's heart skipped a beat. Watching? What do you mean? Not human, she replied. My people, enemies. They sense me. They are coming. Ethan froze. His mind raced through possibilities. If alien forces were approaching, Earth itself could be at risk. And if anyone discovered Lyra's presence prematurely, humanity might react with fear or aggression. He had to keep her hidden, and he had to prepare for the unknown. We need a plan, he said firmly. You can't just float in my mind forever. We have to find a way to protect you and keep you safe. Yes, she agreed, flickering with urgency. I cannot remain long without danger, but I do not know how to leave. Ethan bit his lip. He had been so focused on exploring and learning that he hadn't considered the full consequences. Now, the stakes were clear. Their bond was fragile, and time was running out. Over the next few days, they developed routines to strengthen their connection while maintaining boundaries. Ethan learned to project his thoughts clearly, guiding Lyra through memories and imagined landscapes. She learned to respect his mental space, remaining present without overwhelming him. They practiced communicating quickly, silently, using images and emotions rather than words. Through these exercises, they discovered something extraordinary. When they combined their minds, even briefly, they could anticipate each other's thoughts, solve complex problems faster, and even glimpse events that had not yet happened. It was as if two minds, human and alien, could become something greater together, a single unified intelligence capable of extraordinary insight. You are amazing, Ethan, Lyra said one evening as they experimented with this shared mental space. Together, we can see things others cannot. Ethan smiled, a mixture of pride and awe washing over him. It feels like we're connected in a way no one else can understand. And maybe that's a good thing. Despite the wonder, fear never fully left. Each time Ethan sensed a faint ripple from her people, his heart tightened. Each time her glow flickered with worry, he felt a surge of protectiveness. He realized that this bond was not just about learning or exploration, it was about responsibility, trust, and courage. One night, as the city below twinkled with lights, Ethan and Lyra sat in the mental landscape they had created, a quiet field under a sky of shifting colors. Lyra floated beside him, glowing softly, while Ethan imagined the scent of wildflowers and the warmth of a gentle breeze. Do you miss your home? Ethan asked gently, projecting the question as he imagined her standing in the fields of her own planet. Yes, she replied, a faint flicker of sadness in her glow. But I like this place. I like you. Your mind. It is safe. It is good. Ethan felt a pang of emotion he could not name. He had spent so long reaching for the stars, searching for meaning, that he had never expected to find it here, in the mind of an alien girl who had entered his consciousness and changed everything. We will find a way to protect you, he said firmly, and when it's safe, maybe you can return home. Lyra's glow brightened for a moment, pulsing with relief and hope. I believe you, Ethan. I trust you. In that moment, Ethan realized the truth of their situation. They were more than scientist and subject, more than human and alien. They were partners, explorers of the mind and the universe, bound by curiosity, courage, and a bond that transcended worlds. But even as they shared this quiet moment, the ripples of danger continued to approach. Ethan could sense them faintly, like shadows at the edge of a dream. Lyra's enemies were near, and their presence would challenge everything he had learned, everything he had discovered. Tomorrow will be difficult, he projected gently, but tonight, we rest, together. And for a brief, shining moment, The weight of the universe faded. Two minds from different worlds floated in harmony, learning from one another, discovering joy, wonder, and hope. And as they drifted through the shared landscapes of thought and memory, both knew that the adventure was only beginning, and that together they could face whatever came next. The quiet mornings of Ethan's lab had disappeared. Ever since Lyra had entered his mind, the world outside seemed louder, faster, and more unpredictable. He spent his days moving carefully between his research, the neural link system, and the constant awareness of her presence. Her glow, soft and luminous inside his mind, had become a familiar comfort, but also a reminder of the danger lurking nearby. It began subtly. Equipment would flicker for no reason. Readings on the neural link system spiked unexpectedly. Ethan initially dismissed these as glitches, but Lyra felt it immediately. "They are near," she projected urgently, her light pulsing faster than before. "I feel them watching. My people. Enemies. They are coming." Ethan's pulse quickened. He had expected challenges, perhaps even political interference or technical failures, but he had never imagined that Lyra's pursuers would come so close to Earth. He ran his hands through his hair and paced the lab. "How close?" he asked, projecting the question directly into her mind. "Close enough to sense me. Soon, they will try to take me back." The thought made Ethan's stomach tighten. His mind raced through possibilities. Could he hide her? Could he defend her if they tried to reach her consciousness? The stakes had risen far beyond curiosity or exploration. They were now a matter of survival. "We have to be careful," he projected firmly. "I won't let them take you. Not while you are here." Lyra's glow softened, almost trembling with relief. "I trust you, Ethan, but they are powerful. Even together we may be challenged." Ethan nodded, though she couldn't see him physically. "Then we prepare. We use our minds, and we use our world. We'll find a way." The next few days were a blur of strategy and training. Ethan devised mental exercises to strengthen their shared connection. He learned how to project his thoughts with precision, guiding Lyra through memories and imagined spaces so she could respond quickly. She, in turn, learned to sense danger before it arrived, subtle ripples in his emotions alerting her to threats in the physical world. Together, they were becoming more than human and alien. They were a team. Despite the preparation, Ethan's exhaustion grew. The mental strain of housing Lyra, combined with long hours at the lab, left him drained. He knew he had to maintain focus. Their survival depended on it. Late one evening, the lab's monitors displayed unusual energy readings. The neural link system, which had stabilized over the past week, now quivered as if reacting to an unseen force. Ethan's heartbeat spiked. "They are here," Lyra projected urgently. "I can feel them reaching. They are scanning." Ethan's mind raced. He realized they were not just sensing Lyra, they were trying to locate the neural link signature on Earth. He had to act fast. He moved quickly, shutting down non-essential systems and redirecting the lab's energy output. The flickering lights of the neural link device stabilized, though only slightly. Lyra's glow, normally calm and steady, pulsed wildly inside his mind. "Stay calm," Ethan projected, though his own thoughts betrayed his fear. "We will do this together." In the mental space they had created, the shared landscape of memory and imagination, they prepared. Ethan visualized protective walls around their mind, mental shields that could obscure Lyra's presence from outside detection. Lyra responded, weaving light and energy into the barriers, strengthening them with her alien awareness. "We are ready," she said softly, her glow steadying. "But they are clever. We must act quickly." Ethan nodded. "Then we wait. We watch. And when they come, we fight with our minds." The The first confrontation was subtle but terrifying. Outside the lab, Ethan felt the air shift, like a current of tension pressing down. The monitors displayed faint distortions, barely noticeable yet unmistakable. His pulse raced as he projected a warning to Lyra. "They are probing us," he said urgently. "I feel it," she replied. "Do not let them find me fully, or Earth will be in danger." Ethan focused. He projected decoy patterns through the neural link system, sending false signals to mislead their pursuers. Lyra enhanced the illusions, creating multiple layers of thought and energy, each one masking her presence. Together, they formed a labyrinth of consciousness. A fortress that existed entirely in the mind, but could influence reality through the neural interface. Hours passed like minutes. The probing continued, subtle and persistent, testing their defenses. Ethan and Lyra worked tirelessly, communicating through thought, projecting strategies and countermeasures, always one step ahead. The intensity of the battle left them both drained, but it also strengthened their bond. They trusted each other completely. Finally, a pause came. The distortions slowed, then faded. Ethan and Lyra could sense that the alien force had retreated, for now. Relief washed over them, though both knew it was temporary. The enemies were patient and powerful, and their next move could be more dangerous. "We cannot stay passive," Ethan projected, his voice firm. "We need a plan for the future. We cannot wait for them to act." "I know," Lyra replied, her glow flickering with determination. "We must prepare, and perhaps find a way to manifest, to act in your world if needed." Ethan's mind raced at the suggestion. The idea of bringing her into the physical world was risky, immense risk, but it could also provide them with an advantage. If she could take temporary form, they could defend themselves more effectively. But the process was untested, and failure could mean losing her entirely. "We'll need equipment, research, and courage," he projected. "But we can try. We must try." "Yes," Lyra replied. "Together we are stronger than they expect." In the following days, Ethan began developing prototypes, adapting the lab's systems to stabilize Lyra's form temporarily. They experimented carefully, creating small projections, shimmering illusions that could interact with the physical world. Lyra was amazed at her ability to touch objects, to feel surfaces, even if briefly. For the first time, she experienced human sensations directly rather than through Ethan's mind. "This is wonderful," she said softly, her glow reflecting the excitement. "I can see, feel, and exist, even for a moment." Ethan smiled, though worry lingered. "We must be careful. Every attempt leaves traces. If they detect you, we will be in danger." "I understand," she replied. "But I want to try. We must prepare for the worst." As the days passed, Ethan and Lyra balanced training, experimentation, and moments of quiet reflection. Their bond deepened, not just through thought, but through shared courage. They learned to anticipate each other's instincts, to respond to danger with unity. And they began to understand something extraordinary. The combination of human ingenuity and alien perception could create solutions neither could achieve alone. One evening, after a long session of exercises, Ethan leaned back in his chair, exhausted but exhilarated. Lyra's glow hovered beside him in the mental space, soft and comforting. "Ethan," she projected softly, "I am grateful. For your mind, for your trust, for this place." "And I am grateful for you," he replied. "You've opened my eyes to possibilities I never imagined." They shared a quiet moment, floating in the shared mental landscape they had created. Outside, the city slept under a sky of stars, unaware of the invisible battle unfolding within one man's mind. But the calm was only temporary. Ethan knew the alien enemies would return. stronger and more determined. The fight was far from over, and when it came, they would face challenges that would test not just their skills, but the strength of their bond. Tomorrow, Ethan projected, we prepare, and together, we are ready. Lyra's glow pulsed with agreement, and for a moment, fear and uncertainty faded. Inside the mind of a human, an alien found sanctuary. Inside the presence of an alien, a human found purpose. And together, they would face whatever the universe could throw at them. The night stretched on, filled with quiet determination. Ethan and Lyra remained vigilant, aware that the battle was only beginning. But for now, they rested, their minds united, ready to face the unknown together. And somewhere beyond Earth, in the darkness of space, Lyra's enemies moved with patience and intent. Unaware that the girl they sought had found refuge inside a human mind, and that her human companion was already thinking, planning, and preparing to fight alongside her. The universe was vast, and the danger immense. But for Ethan and Lyra, one truth had become clear. Together, they could face anything. The air in Ethan's lab was thick with tension. For days, he and Lyra had been preparing, testing, and refining ways to protect her from the alien forces that now loomed near Earth. The neural link system hummed steadily, its lights blinking in patterns only Ethan could interpret. Every wire, every console, every calculation mattered. The stakes had never been higher. Ethan paced the lab, glancing at the projections floating in the air. Lyra's glowing form flickered faintly in his mind, restless and anxious. "We must act soon," she projected, her light pulsing like a heartbeat. "I feel them coming closer. They are near your world now." Ethan swallowed hard. He had been working on a radical idea, a way to temporarily manifest Lyra into the physical world using a combination of neural quantum projection and advanced energy manipulation. It was untested, dangerous, and possibly irreversible. But they had no choice. If her enemies located her consciousness, Earth could become collateral damage, and Lyra herself could be lost forever. "Are you ready?" he projected. "I trust you," she replied. "Let us try." With that, Ethan activated the device. Lights hummed brighter, monitors flashed, and a low vibration filled the lab. He focused his thoughts on Lyra, imagining her stepping into the room, not just as a projection in his mind, but as a tangible presence. Lyra mirrored his focus, weaving her alien energy with his, aligning herself with the quantum resonance of the system. Slowly, shimmering particles began to coalesce in the air above the device. They sparkled faintly at first, like sunlight on water. Then, gradually, they formed a shape, tall, small, humanoid, and luminous. Lyra emerged, flickering between light and substance, her glow soft but visible in the physical space. Ethan's breath caught. "It worked," he whispered aloud, feeling disbelief and awe in equal measure. "I feel your world," Lyra projected, her voice a mix of joy and wonder. "It is real, tangible. I can touch." She reached out tentatively, brushing her fingers against the edge of a console. A ripple of energy responded to her touch, and Ethan realized the magnitude of what they had achieved. For the first time, a human and an alien were sharing both mind and reality, combining their abilities to confront danger. But the moment of wonder was brief. The alien pursuers had sensed the energy surge. Outside, Ethan noticed strange distortions in the city's electromagnetic field, subtle, unnatural ripples that signaled the presence of powerful forces approaching. They were coming to take Lyra, and this time, they would not wait. "We must move quickly," Ethan projected. "Can you maintain form long enough to help me?" "Yes," she replied, her glow intensifying. "I will stay. But we must be careful." Ethan nodded and prepared the lab's defensive systems. He had installed energy barriers, automated turrets, and adaptive shielding over the past days, all designed to protect both Lyra and himself from external attacks. But these aliens were not simple enemies. They were intelligent, adaptable, and relentless. He would need more than technology. He would need strategy. The first sign of attack came as a wave of energy that rippled through the lab's walls. Lights flickered, monitors glitched, and the hum of machinery grew louder. Ethan and Lyra stood ready, mentally and physically, their bond strengthening with every shared glance and projected thought. "They are testing us," Lyra projected urgently. "They are cautious, but we cannot hesitate." Ethan focused. Using a combination of neural link projections and manual control of the lab's systems, he created illusions, defensive shields, and traps to slow their attackers. Lyra's alien energy intertwined with the barriers, making them more resilient than anything he could have produced alone. Together, human ingenuity and alien perception formed an unbreakable defense. The first wave of attackers breached the outer perimeter, their forms flickering in and out of visibility. Ethan and Lyra responded instantly, anticipating each move, predicting strategies, and countering them before they fully formed. It was a battle of minds as much as technology, and the synergy between them gave them an unexpected advantage. "They cannot predict us," Ethan projected, feeling the surge of confidence. "We are too connected." Lyra's glow pulsed in agreement. "Yes, together, we are stronger." Hours passed in a blur of energy, mental projections, and rapid calculations. Ethan marveled at their coordination. Lyra's alien perception allowed her to sense subtle shifts in the attacker's movements, while his knowledge of technology and human strategy gave them a counterpoint. Each challenge they faced was met with creativity, courage, and determination. Finally, the attackers faltered. The combination of mental fortitude, tactical skill, and technological innovation had pushed them back, at least temporarily. Ethan and Lyra stood in the lab, exhausted but triumphant. Her physical form shimmered, unstable but intact, a testament to their success. "We did it. For now," Ethan projected, feeling a mix of relief and pride. "Yes," Lyra replied softly, her glow calming. "But this is only the beginning. They will return, stronger, and next time, we must be ready." Ethan nodded, understanding the truth of her words. The universe was vast, and the threats were relentless. But their bond had proven something extraordinary. Humans could rise to challenges through intelligence, courage, and creativity, even in the face of cosmic powers. Over the next several days, they worked tirelessly to refine the process, strengthening Lyra's ability to maintain a temporary physical presence while ensuring her safety. They discovered that their combined consciousness allowed them to anticipate each other's thoughts, creating near-perfect synchronization in both strategy and action. It was a revelation. Human and alien minds working in perfect harmony, capable of feats neither could achieve alone. Ethan. Lyra projected one evening as they rested in the lab, her form flickering slightly with exhaustion. "I am amazed. Your mind, your courage. It is extraordinary. And you," Ethan replied, smiling despite his fatigue. "You've taught me more about the universe than I ever imagined. We are better together." They shared a quiet moment, standing side by side in the lab. Outside, the city was unaware of the extraordinary battle that had taken place within the confines of one building. Inside, a human and an alien had faced a formidable threat, relying not only on technology, but on trust, creativity, and the unique strength that comes from understanding and cooperation. But even as they rested, the awareness of future challenges lingered. Lyra's enemies had not been defeated, they had only been delayed, and the cost of failure was unimaginable. Ethan knew that every calculation, every projection, every decision could mean the difference between survival and disaster. "We must continue," he projected gently. "Every moment, every effort counts." "Yes," Lyra replied, her glow steady but determined. "We will be ready. Together." The breakthrough had shown them what was possible. A human could not only house an alien mind, but could work in tandem with it to face dangers far beyond the ordinary. And the lesson was clear. Ingenuity, courage, and trust could create power greater than any weapon, any army, any alien force. As night fell over the city, Ethan and Lyra stood side by side, one human, one alien, united by thought, purpose, and courage. The journey was far from over, but they had proven a simple truth. The combination of human determination and alien perspective could overcome even the most formidable challenges. And somewhere beyond Earth, the alien forces paused, sensing the resilience and strength of the duo. They had underestimated the human spirit, the ability to adapt, to learn, and to rise in the face of overwhelming odds. The universe was still dangerous, the threat still looming, but the bond between Ethan and Lyra had changed the equation. They were ready for whatever came next. Together, they had achieved the impossible, and together, they would continue to face the unknown, not as separate beings, but as a single force, blending intelligence, courage, and determination into something extraordinary. The lab was quiet, but the calm was fragile. For days, Ethan and Lyra had strengthened their bond, tested new technology, and faced waves of alien attackers. Each encounter had pushed them to the limits of mind and body. But now, they faced a challenge unlike any before. Through their neural link and mental projections, Lyra sensed that her enemies were preparing a decisive strike. They were no longer probing or testing. They intended to capture her. If they succeeded, the consequences could reach far beyond Lyra herself. Earth might be caught in the crossfire. Ethan knew that he and Lyra had little time. "Ethan?" she projected, her glow pulsing urgently in his mind. "They are coming, stronger than before. We must act." Ethan nodded, though she could not see him physically. "I know, but this time, we need a plan that keeps you safe no matter what." For hours they strategized, combining human ingenuity with alien perception. Ethan developed a final prototype for the Neural Quantum Archive, a device capable of storing Lyra's consciousness safely, allowing her to remain alive even if she had to leave his mind. The system was untested on a living alien consciousness, but failure was not an option. "It is risky," Ethan projected, "but it may be the only way to protect you." Lyra's glow softened, tinged with sadness. "I understand. I trust you, Ethan. Always." They prepared for the final battle. The first signs were subtle. The air around the lab shimmered with invisible energy, and the monitors flickered with unusual patterns. Then the attack began. Alien energy surged like waves crashing against a cliff, distorting reality itself. Ethan and Lyra braced, their minds and wills intertwined. "Stay close to me," Ethan projected urgently. "We can do this together." "Yes," she replied, her glow brightening. The attackers struck, trying to penetrate the lab's defenses and reach Lyra's consciousness. Ethan and Lyra responded instantly. Using their combined mental power, they created layers of illusions and barriers, each one more complex than the last. They predicted movements, countered energy surges, and used the lab's technology as extensions of their minds. Every strategy, every action, was a testament to human creativity paired with alien intelligence. Hours passed in what felt like minutes. Their bond allowed them to anticipate each other's thoughts perfectly. Lyra's alien perception provided insights into the attackers' strategies, while Ethan's ingenuity allowed them to exploit weaknesses in both technology and mind. They were a single force, human and alien, working together in perfect harmony. "Ethan?" Lyra projected softly amid the chaos. "I'm afraid, but I am ready." "We'll face it together," he projected back. "We can do this." The alien attackers faltered, confused by the complexity of their combined defenses. But the risk was far from over. Ethan realized that they could not fight indefinitely. The energy required to maintain Lyra's temporary physical form was draining both of them. She was flickering, unstable, and soon her form would collapse if they did not act. "We need the archive now," Ethan projected urgently. "It's the only way to keep you safe." "Yes," Lyra replied, her glow flickering with effort. "Do it." Ethan activated the neural quantum archive. The device hummed to life, drawing on both his and Lyra's combined energy. Streams of light and data flowed from her, translating her consciousness into a stable, safe form within the quantum system. Lyra's glow became brighter for a moment, almost like a heartbeat, before she began to fade from the physical world. "Ethan," she projected, her voice soft, almost like a whisper carried on the wind. "I am grateful. For your mind, your courage, for everything. You will always be a part of me," he projected, fighting back the emotion that threatened to overwhelm him. "And I will always be here. You are safe now." Her glow pulsed one last time, bright and steady, before gently fading into the archive. The lab fell silent. Ethan sat alone, breathing heavily, his heart filled with a mixture of relief, sadness, and hope. Lyra was safe, but she was no longer beside him in the physical world. She existed now as something both alive and preserved, a beacon of alien intelligence within a human-created device. In the following days, Ethan continued his research, refining the archive and exploring its possibilities. He could still communicate with Lyra through the system, projecting thoughts and images to her consciousness safely stored inside the quantum archive. It was not the same as having her beside him, but it was enough to maintain their bond. "Ethan." Lyra projected one evening, her presence calm but vibrant. "I am content, safe, and I can still be with you even so." "Yes," he replied, smiling despite the lingering sorrow. "We can still share ideas, memories, even adventures in our minds." The experience had changed Ethan. He had discovered the extraordinary potential of human creativity, courage, and determination. Alone, he was limited. But with an ally, even one from another galaxy, he could face challenges that no human alone could overcome. Humanity, he realized, was capable of reaching further, achieving more, and connecting with the universe in ways that were only just beginning to be understood. Weeks later, Ethan presented his work cautiously to a select team of scientists, sharing the potential of the neural quantum archive without revealing Lyra's identity. The technology promised new ways to preserve consciousness, to explore minds, and perhaps one day to connect with other beings across the stars. But to Ethan, the true value was personal. The archive allowed him to protect a friend, a companion from another world, and maintain a bond that transcended distance, species, and even physical reality. One evening, as Ethan sat in his lab, projecting images to Lyra's consciousness, he felt a strange calm. The city outside sparkled with life. Unaware of the cosmic forces that had threatened it, or of the small lab where a human and an alien had proven that intelligence, creativity, and courage could overcome unimaginable odds. "Ethan," Lyra projected softly, "do you think we will meet again?" "I hope so," he replied. "If the stars allow it, we will. And until then, we have this. Always." Her glow pulsed in response, bright and warm. "I will wait," she projected, "and I will remember everything." Ethan smiled, feeling a surge of hope. He had faced the impossible, fought alongside an alien mind, and emerged not only victorious, but wiser. Humanity had been tested, and he had proven that courage, ingenuity, and the willingness to connect across differences could achieve miracles. In the quiet of the lab, surrounded by humming machines and blinking lights, Ethan allowed himself a moment of reflection. He thought of the stars, the countless worlds beyond Earth, and the limitless possibilities that awaited. And he thought of Lyra, glowing softly inside the archive, a friend, a guide, and a reminder of the vast potential of connection. The universe was vast, full of mysteries and dangers, but also full of hope. And for Ethan, one truth had become clear. Humans were capable of extraordinary things, not just surviving but thriving, learning, and reaching out to touch the unknown. "Thank you, Ethan," Lyra projected gently, her presence a calm light in his mind. "No, thank you," he replied, "for showing me the stars, for trusting me, for being you." As night fell over the city, Ethan gazed at the sky, feeling a sense of peace he had never known. The bond between human and alien, mind and consciousness, had proven stronger than fear, stronger than danger, and stronger than distance. Lyra was safe, Earth was safe, and together, even separated by form, they had discovered something far greater than either had imagined. The power of trust, courage, and the unbreakable strength of connection. The journey was far from over. Adventures, challenges, and mysteries awaited across the stars. But Ethan and Lyra had faced the impossible and emerged stronger. And somewhere beyond Earth, Lyra's consciousness pulsed gently within the archive, a light in the darkness, a reminder of the infinite possibilities of the universe and the extraordinary potential of humanity. Together, even apart, they had rewritten what it meant to reach for the stars. And in that there was hope, bright, unyielding, and eternal.